This is my top 16 bots of 2016. Let's get straight into it. Well, with number 16. Number 16 is a bot that I picked up 2 of in 2016. It's a KO, and it's not here because of good build quality, not because of even how it transforms or how it looked when I bought it. It was because I've had a lot of fun actually customising these, and it is B&M, their own version of Hexatron or Six Shot, the black version. The only version I've still got now is the one that I've customised. So this is my kind of War Within styly Grimlock I changed him into, and I've put the Clobber Titan's Return head on there, as you can see. But he was such a lot of fun, and when picking these bots on this list, you need to. There's a number of reasons why you find a robot fun: the way they look, the way they feel. There might be some sentimental value behind them. So at number 16 on the list, thank you B&M, more than a bargain. Number 15 on the list is Transformers Prime Soundwave. I'm very late into the Transformers Prime franchise. I didn't think I'd ever get any of them. Early on in the year, I announced on Twitter that I might start collecting this line. A guy called Santiago Jones, or Gareth, for people who know him, messaged me, and for 20 quid he sent me a whole load of them, which was basically 50% of the Prime main cast, including this guy. So I love this figure. I love how it looks. I love the character of Soundwave, how he is in Titan's Return, in Transformers Prime. But also, whenever I look at this guy and a few of the others on my shelf, I think about Gareth's generosity and how he sent me probably about 100 quid's worth of bots for 20 quid. So cheers again, Gareth, and thank you for making give me a Soundwave and making sure that he appears on this list. So thank you. Number 14 is a bot that I've actually got 4 of this mould. And I got it off my son. My son was born in May, my birthday's in June, and this is the first gift he got me. Fair enough, my wife might have had something to do with it, but it's got a lot of sentimental value, and because of that, that's why Combiner Wars Thundercracker is number 14 on the list. He's a cool figure. I think he's probably the best version of this mould. Like with a lot of Seekers, the Starscreams tend to look a little bit bland. The grey-white colour that they use isn't quite right. Skywarp always looks good in that black and purple, but I think this guy just works. He's got a great alt mode, lots of options for the weapons and the guns, and as well, I mean, I managed to get my hands on him. Oh well, for my birthday, but I know he's not out in this country. I think he might be now. I think he's appearing in some TK Maxes. But there you are. Combiner Wars Thundercracker. So at number 13, we've got our first Masterpiece entrance, and it's kind of 2 bots, but they're the same mould, just a little bit of different colouring. So here we go. It is Masterpiece Transformers Sound Blaster and Soundwave. This is a Takara Sound Blaster, which I picked up first. It was going to be my version of Soundwave because I didn't want to pay 200 odd quid that Soundwave was going for. And then luckily I managed to pick up a Hasbro version towards the end of the year. Yes, the one with the yellow eyes. No, I'm not doing the eye swapping thing because it looks far too complicated and I'll smash it up. Despite the QC issues, he's fucking Soundwave, man. And he was always one of my favourites when I was a kid. Having a Masterpiece version, or having 2 kind of Masterpiece versions of him, is amazing to see on the shelf. I love playing with him. I love the cassettes and his minions, and that's why he's at number 13. So, number 12 now, it's a bot that I purchased from Transformers Nation, and I haven't been mean, he's just too big to get off the shelf. That's why I've kind of decapitated him, and I'm only showing you his head. It is Titan's Return, Fortress Maximus, simply because of the size of the beast. He's a phenomenal toy. Yes, he struggles under his own weight, with his knees giving up sometimes and falling over, but You know what? I'm actually looking up now because I'm worried he's going to fall on my head. But he's a phenomenal toy. I always wanted a Fort Max. I've got a Fort Max. He's not the G1 one, but he's still an awesome figure to have. And I haven't got the Metroplex, so it was my first venture into this mould. So, yep, number 12 on the list. Really happy to have him in the collection. Number 11 might not compute to some people, but to me it does. It's Computron. It's Unite Warriors Computron. And this symbolises something for me. This is the first time that I actually decided to sell some of my collection, not the original ones from when I was a kid, because they've got sentimental value and I'll never part with those. But some of the more recent purchases I've bought from Transformers Nation and also off eBay and all that other things, ones that I just bought for the sake of it. And this guy was kind of a milestone because what I bought him with is money from the first sales of my bots. And I actually got, it cost about 125 quid this that I did. And he's phenomenal. He's a great figure. He's got all the Combiner Wars flaws, like the arms popping off and all that kind of stuff. But compared to the Hasbro version, I think it's just loads better. It's just a beautiful, beautiful figure. And yeah, so he's sitting at number 11 on my top 16. So we're into the top 10 now. And now at number 10 is a figure that I never thought I would own because it goes for stupid money on eBay. And I saw him on eBay. There was about half an hour to go. I offered the seller 45 quid for it and he accepted, so I was like, great, brilliant. It is Transformers Prime Silas Breakdown. I did want the normal Breakdown one, but this guy is still pretty cool. He's in a black colour scheme. He's got the arms Micron double dagger bullshit blaster or whatever it is, which is pretty crap. But the figure itself is just great, and I never thought I'd own one of these, as I say, because they seem to be that rare. So yeah, great mould, a lot of fun, not worth 45 quid, but he is worth 45 quid. So he's number 10 on my list. So at number 9, it is MP10. I finally managed to get one of these guys. Got it from an eBay seller who lived down the road from me. He's the Hasbro version. It's the version that I wanted because he hasn't got the dead eyes that people moan about. I was pretty late to the MP10 party. He's a good toy. He's a great figure. He's probably the second or third best masterpiece I own. Maybe. But I mean, this guy, he's just great to have. I bought him a couple of months before TF Nation, and I really, really want the Shattered Glass mould now, but I'm not going to pay 160 quid for it because that's a rip-off. So yeah, MP10 is at number 9. At number 8, we're on 8. We're on 8. At number 8 is a figure that it was a bit of an impulse buy. I was worried because it is a third party and this company hasn't got great reputation. But when he arrived, love this guy. Absolutely great figure. It is Transformers Shattered Glass KFC Blaster. I haven't got any of his cassettes. He was being sold separately without the cassettes in the box. Do I regret that? Maybe a little bit, but not major. I mean, I don't want a big Shattered Glass collection. I just like the concept of the Autobots being the bad guys, Decepticons being the good guys. But he's just a great figure in hand. He looks cool. I really wish I had him in G1 colours because he would look great on my masterpiece shelf. But yeah, it's Shattered Glass Blaster. So, while we're shattering one set of glasses, we might as well get the whole cabinet out and shatter every single glass in there. At number 7, it's DX9 Terror. Another Shattered Glass homage to that comic that I've only read once. He was an excuse for me to get the carry mode at first, if I'm honest. I've got both versions of MP Hot Rod and Rodimus, whatever you want to call him. and I wanted to see what Carrie was like. And good God, this figure knocks those Hasbro ones into fits, Takara ones. He's a great figure, he's got a beard, and he can hold Mitron's scythe like a boss. And number 6 is an MP I picked up from Transformers Nation, and he is, masterpiece, Ratchet. Now, I didn't think I'd like this guy. I wanted Ironhide, and I think, well, I missed him. He was there, and I didn't want to pay £5 more. I looked round, and then he'd gone. So I picked up Ratchet instead. And I love this guy because it absolutely reminds me... Oh, well, there you go. Bits just fallen off. He absolutely reminds me of some of the great people I met at Transformers Nation. Paul, John, I'm thinking about you, and Graham as well. But he's a great figure. And probably for those reasons, he really reminds me about that weekend. That's why he's so high up on my list. He's as good figure-wise as MP10, probably not. But I picked him up from, as I say, someone's house in Bloxwich. This guy reminds me of an absolutely fantastic weekend, and that's why he's so high up on my list. And there you go. This is my list, so I'll put him wherever I want to. So fitting 16 bots into this list was hard enough, but working out how they actually go in the list when I've picked up so many great ones this year has been really difficult. So we fly into the top 5 with a bot that really tempted me into the third-party market. I was one of these people who thought, no, not bothering with third-party, they're not Transformers, they're just fakes, blah, 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 blah. And then I saw a picture of this guy, and there wasn't a Hasbro alternative, and I wanted to get him from TFN. I didn't see him at TFN, but I did manage to find him afterwards. It is DX9's Tyrant, aka Masterpiece Galvatron. I love this figure, how it feels in hand, how the matte finish of the plastic, even his face sculpt. I think he's an amazing toy. He's one of my favourite Transformers I own. And because of that, he has to be in the top 5. I was surprised he wasn't a little bit higher, but yeah, there you go. It's difficult to put these things in an order, but DX9 Tyrant, unbelievable bot. Number 4 on the list is a retail release from the UK. The Titans Return line has given us some absolute gems. Maybe not so much in the deluxe, in the Voyager class. Some of those have been a little bit hit and miss, but the deluxe class have given us some real gems. Some great toys with great engineering. And you know what? People moan that were £20 a pop. I pay full price for them, and I'm happy to do that because they are so much fun to play with. But at number 4 on our list, the elite of all the deluxes, is Trigger Happy. This figure is one of my favourite figures of this year, simply because of how it feels, how it transforms, and the fact I was able to walk into a toy shop in the UK and pay less than 20 quid for a figure of that quality. I had the buzz of picking him up off the shelf and seeing him at the back and going, oh my God, Trigger Happy's there. Fair enough, the rest of the way was there as well, and I bought them more, but there you go. And yes, he looks a little bit like Deadpool in an Optimus Prime mask, but you know what? This thing is so much fun, and I really hope they retool this figure into some of the other guys like Slug Singer and the other dude, the pink dude. Him. I forget his name. But him and the other Jets who were Target Masters, because this figure is immense. I love him so much. So, top 3. And this was so difficult to try and work out the order of these 3. But at number 3, in the bronze medal position, we have DX9's Mitron. This figure is my G1 Megatron, and I know there is going to be another version coming out, the 2.0 Masterpiece version, and yes, he looks quite cool, but I paid 100 quid for this guy. The face sculpt is phenomenal. He oozes G1 to me. He looks how he did in the cartoon, and that means so much. That's what I'll go for. And he feels great in hand. He can get him in some great poses. You can post the Hasbro version of Laserbeak on his arm out the movie. It's just a great figure. I truly recommend him. And for those of you who don't want to part with the best part of £150, £200 for a Masterpiece Megatron, I fully recommend you getting this guy because he is phenomenal. So you might notice I've got changed. That's because this is now 2 days later. I didn't get a chance to finish the video. So let's get into number 2. It's been so hard to pick between these two. I've been going backwards and forwards all day. Well, the last couple of days actually. But in second place is Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, which to me is a true masterpiece Transformer. It is a phenomenal figure. Cartoon accurate. I picked up this. I got some vouchers from work. I won an award and got 200 quid's worth of vouchers. So I managed to get him off Amazon, which was lucky. It was about 150 quid. But I don't class it. Technically, it was free, so that's what makes him all the sweeter. But I never thought I'd own one of these guys. And I do. And he's amazing. If you were only to get one Masterpiece figure, I'll probably say this. Get this one, which makes me a bit of a hypocrite, what I've put in at number 1. But there is reasons for that. But yeah, Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. Right, so we get to the top of the list. So I've gone through a lot of bots. Can any of you guess who might be number 1?
Striker Manus. Oh, what? Oh.
No, it's not Striker Manus.
Rodimus Prime? What the hell, man? This isn't what I expected.
You didn't expect it because it's definitely not Rodimus Prime.
Number 1, if you think you feel this, what you talk about, Maxor's wellness.
How can Hound be top of any list? He can't even be on top of the best green Transformer list because he's goddamn Devastator every time. It's like you've only put him at number 1 because you've made up a song about him. So we've got to number 1, and at number 1, this might cause a little bit of controversy, but it's not just one figure, it's not just 2, but it's 3 figures of the same mould that aren't Hasbro, that aren't Takara, and aren't third party. They're KOs. It's the community destroyer himself. The Cook and Bow Starscream, with his trusty henchman Thundercracker, or Thunder Wraith, I think he was called, and Skywarp, who's just dropped Megatron on the floor. Why did I pick these? Well, number 1, I picked them because I adore Starscream. I always wanted an MP. I forgot what MP this is. A Seeker mould. I've got the green screen version. I was willing to pay 150 odd quid for him with a Coronation gear at TF Nation. He wasn't there. The quality control I understand on them is pretty piss poor, especially the latest versions of Thrust and Ramjet. Poor Junk Heap Dave's. His version of Ramjet has gone all Darth Maul and gone completely cut in half. I never thought I'd be able to own one of these, and I weren't going to pay the 300 quid for something that is just a pile of crap, really, how it's put together and the quality control on it. These guys are phenomenal. They are great figures, and I was able to pick them up for 65 quid each. So for the price that the original version with Core QC would have cost me, I've gone out and I've picked up 3 versions of the figure that look amazing on the shelf. Starscream aside, Thundercracker and Skywarp have completely, well, they seem to have different, unique paint styles. Different. This has got a different colour blue. These are very toy accurate. They look amazing. Different paint after the original, different hip. different skirts, hip skirts. They've got some different accessories. They've got different parts of the engineering. So they're improved all round, and they're different from the original. Now, how is that any different? I've seen an Ace Toys cliff jumper recently that looks to be a complete rip-off of the MP Bumblebee. So how are these any different? I don't know. But they are number one for the reason they look absolutely awesome. And for the second reason, rightly or wrongly, they got me into the community. The video where I did a response to Dorian, who we'll be chatting to a little bit later on, it really started the interaction with the community, and I got a few subscribers. I've only got 35 subscribers now, 34 subscribers on YouTube, so it isn't all about that, but it definitely made me feel more part of this community. And because of that, I think that reason has made me put them to number one. If I was picking toy alone, I'd probably go Ultra Magnus. But if we're talking about favourite bots of 2016, these are my favourites because they've got me involved in the community. There's 3 figures I never thought I'd have the originals of, and my son bought me Thundercracker as well for Christmas, which is his first Christmas gift to me, so that was amazing, even though I paid for it. So when you're 18, mate, I'm coming for that 65 quid. Straight hot off the press this is, we've actually got Dorian live via video chat. So Dorian, good to have you here. I understand that you have changed your feelings towards these KO toys. What do you think about them now?
That for me is very, very exciting. An all-round A+ toy.
Well, I'm really, really happy you feel that way. How you feeling now anyway? I understand you've had a little bit of a dodgy stomach over Christmas. You've had a little bit of the diarrhea. Is that the case? How are you now?
Like 5 different million colours of skids. I want a silver one, I want a black one, I want a blue one, I want a red one.
God damn it, Dorian. That's too much information.
Because I love when wheels are inside.
No wonder your skids are red if you're shoving wheels up there. Just be careful, you're going to do yourself some real damage. Oh dear. We seem to have lost Dorian there. From the sounds of it, it sounds like the shit has hit the Transformers fan. So that's it. That was my top 16 Transformers of 2016. That's my son crying in the background, by the way, so I'm sorry about that. Just want to say a few thank yous. Thank you to Dorian, who didn't know I was doing that in the video, and I hope he's a good sport about it because he's a good lad. I want to say thank you to Thew as well for letting me use his clip, even though I didn't ask permission to use it, but there you go. I want to thank that Rodimus Prime, who did a fantastic job of surprising Thew in that video. I want to thank Junk Heap Dave, who's becoming a really close friend of mine quite quickly. Top bloke, really, really top bloke. Love his videos. If you haven't watched them, check them out. And some other massive thank yous to some real close friends I've made in the community. Retro Prime, Paul, top man. Love chatting to you. Every day now we seem to chat. And also John, Borders Dude. Cheers for all the great advice and the promotional images you keep sending through from AliExpress, mate. I hope you get a good commission on that. And I also want to say a thank you to Incubuds, or Graham, because he's a top bloke. I've met him for milkshakes in Burton-upon-Trent. Very random outing that was. And also James, Soundwave 1980, who is one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. We've had a play date. He's come around my house. We've talked bots for a bit. And he only lives down the road, so we've become good friends as well. I just want to say I'm looking forward to being part of the community in 2017. I hope you do like my videos. If you don't like them, then I'll probably keep doing them anyway because I've only got 35 people watching me. But yeah, just want to wish you all a really, really happy new year, and I'll speak to you shortly.